What is up, folks? Welcome to another Premodern video. It's been a while and I'm very excited to play my very first matches since the banning of Parallax Tide. I went on the Premodcast alongside Tom Metelsky to discuss in depth about this banning, so if you want to know my thoughts, I recommend you check out that episode of the Premodcast. I'm very excited to try all the new decks that are getting unbanned, which are notably decks that I enjoy brewing and that I enjoy playing. So let's get started right away. This is my take and what I believe is going to be one of the biggest winners of the banning of Parallax Tide, which is the card Graveborn Muse. I think this card is very, very strong. I've been very high on it for quite a bit now. And I think that mid-range decks that can use this card to good effect, or I guess mid-range decks in which this card shines brightest, are going to be one of the bigger winners in this new tideless Premodern. What I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to use this shell that I already tried in Mono Black, and I also tried in Black Green, and also on Black Red. Actually, I have made videos in all of those color combinations using this shell of Ravenous Rats plus some number of Cabal Therapies and some Duresses alongside Bane of the Living, Graveborn Muse, and like whatever card you're splashing for, right? So in this case, we're splashing for Swords to Plowshares, Gerard's Verdict, and Vindicate. And then also Exalted Angel, notably, which is a card that I'm very excited to pair up with Graveborn Muse. Obviously, one of them gives you back the life that the Muse takes. So obvious synergy, I just said here, but pretty strong nonetheless. The big issue with a deck like this, obviously, is going to be the mana. So because we are using a base, a black-white mana base, it means that our mana is probably going to be a little bit of a disaster, but this is when Salt Flats or like Grand Coliseum, honestly, to be honest, I think the Grand Coliseum is just like the better card to play in these slots in every of these builds, like the Rock as well, but I just really like the art in these Tempest duels, so... yeah, that's just, you know, just throwing that out there. Sad, but that's the truth. Yeah, I think that helping to pay for Exalted Angel and also using Reflecting Pool as a way to give you the second white pip for Exalted Angel, while at the same time giving you the second black for Graveborn Muse, Bane of the Living, and Withered Wretch in this case, is kind of a big deal. Having access to Reflecting Pool in this shell, I think it's going to be very helpful. Notably, I am playing Wasteland here. This is because I'm not going to be trying to do what I have done in a deck like the Rock, for example. The Rock, you're trying to go like a little bit bigger, and you're trying to close the game. Here, I'm not really trying to do that. So Dust Bowl is a better card when you're trying to get into the late game, but this deck has actually a lower curve with Hypnotic Spectre, so you're trying to be a little bit more aggressive. We're not going to be able to we're not really trying to play a super long game like we are with the Rock. So for that reason, I think that I want to try Wasteland here. It's possible that Dust Bowl is still better, but I want to try a Wasteland to see how it goes, but I could see it being a little bit underpowered, a little bit lackluster. We'll see. In the sideboard, we have Aura of Silence and Cleansing Meditation. I expect that with the banning, Enchantress is going to be one of the best decks in the format, so I want to be ready against that deck. And once again, Reflecting Pool coming in clutch, helping me cast my white cards. We also have Disenchant, Cop Red, Suran Orb as the sideboard card that I've been very excited about playing in this sort of mid-range decks against Mono Red. Basically, you want to never play this card until you are about to die, and then you play it out. And then you continue deploying your cards, and you only sacrifice the bare minimum amount of lands at any given turn. And that allows you to, obviously, it's going to get to a point where you're not going to be able to sacrifice any more lands. But up until you get there, you're going to be able to continue deploying stuff, like unlike something like Cop Red, for example, which you don't really want to have 2 copies of. Or Warmth. Warmth, the issue that I have is that if you top deck it on turn 5, it sucks. Whereas Suran Orb, you top deck it on turn 5, it's awesome. So because I'm going to be hopefully drawing cards with, like, you know, Bane of the Living or Graveborn Muse or whatever, then Suran Orb, I think, makes a little bit more sense. We also have Cop Red, which, you know, it's obviously kind of a number, but I mean, if I have Cop Red, why would I be sacrificing my lands to Suitor Nova anyway? So I don't think that it's really that much of a combo, if I'm being honest. I think it's just fine. But then, yeah, we have Skeletal Scrying number 2, Wither Wretch number 3. I'm playing 2 in the main deck. And then a Furnace. This is another fantastic card that I think gets a lot better in the new metagame. Then we have Smolder and Engineer Plague to round things out. So obviously very, very strong sideboard. Black and white have access to super, super powerful sideboard options. So that's what we're going to be doing here. And yeah, very excited to try out this deck. I'm really looking forward to this new Premodern format, and I hope you're excited as well. So I'll see you for round number 1. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you there. Okay, here we go with round number 1. This hand looks pretty good. So we can go turn 1 Swamp, turn 2 Rat, turn 3 Hippie, or if we're playing against, if we consider the playing against the combo deck. I guess even if it's playing against the combo deck, I'll probably go with Hippie on 2. Okay. So that's actually an interesting one. Yeah, I guess I'd rather do that. Rather get a little 2-for-1. I think that Verdict, this also is better against Duress, which is nice. We took 2 lands. That's exciting. All right. The Wasteland. Ooh, that's a nice pickup. We get another 2-for-1 here. Another land. And we have Skeletal Scrying. Sure, they have a Wall of Blossoms. I think I'm going to go with Hypnotic Spectre here. It's bad in the face of Duress, but this puts my opponent on a very, very short clock. Otherwise, I'm going to start to get a lot of value. So I'm probably may face Scrying. Smaller, yeah. They had a very, very short window to find that smaller. So White Source? No White Source. We do get to draw. Do I want to play Exalted Angel? Nah, I don't think so. I'm just going to draw 3 on my opponent's hand step. Good block from my opponent. Duress. I'm going to draw 3. And then I'm gonna have my opponent take this Vindicate here. I think I may just play a face-up Bane of the Living here. That's not bad. Yep, because now I get to double spell. So my opponent needs another Smolder right now. Otherwise I flip this Angel and the game ends. I could have held and just sat on the Exalted Angel, but then if my opponent draws the other card, what's his name, I'm gonna be in trouble. So I'm just gonna flip the Angel here and I'm gonna go to town. I don't want to offer the trade. Nah, the Rock deck struggles to beat a resolved Exalted Angel, so I think I'm pretty comfortable here. This gets rid of the Rat, but we're still cooking. My opponent could have Diabolic Edict, Cabal Therapy, name Bane. That's fine. I mean, this Exalted Angel is gonna win the game, so they can actually sacrifice the Plague Spitter. Okay, I guess if they have Diabolic Edict exactly, then we may actually lose this game somehow, which would be crazy. So they need to have exactly Diabolic Edict. So now they get to kill the... I guess they do. That's incredible. Yep, there we go. Oh, rats. I understand what happened there. Okay, so swing with the Angel. I guess they just wanted to sacrifice just to kill the Wretch. Do I cast this Therapy? What could my opponent have here? Maybe they have Pernicious Deed. I guess I might as well name Pernicious Deed here. Because it's not like Discus spells matter. So I guess the only card I lose to is Diabolic Edict. So maybe my opponent, I don't know, they misclicked or something. Is there anything else that I lose to? It's only Diabolic Edict. Yeah, Pernicious Deed doesn't matter. Snuff Out, I guess. Naturalize and Funeral Charm. Sure, I was not expecting those cards. So my opponent's playing a very spicy rock list over there. They're going to be able to draw step. They drew Vendetta? Oh my god. Am I winning here? Am I losing here? So opponent gets to draw step Funeral Charm. Sure. I mean, they don't have anything and they're very low on lands. And I have some extremely strong top decks here. Obviously, Graveborn Muse, if it shows up, probably wins. They drew a land. Ravenous Rats, sure. So now neither of us has cards. It's a top deck war. I'm honestly very impressed by how the cards lined up here. I guess this... No, I'm going to take it. Because if I find a plow, then I can start swinging for 1. Cabal Therapy. I guess we're going to chill. Sure. Funeral Charm. I actually don't think that card is terrible, to be honest. It answers Sligh, which is a big deal. And it also does good work against some other cards. I think we're just gonna pass here. I'm gonna hold on to this Jorah's Verdict in case my opponent has more Funeral Charm action. But this being able to discard on your draw step is pretty decent. It can be a shock if you're swinging with something. I think my life total is high enough that I can chill. Tempting Worm. Yeah, that's a big deal. That's pretty nice. So let's lead on Spectre, because my opponent last card may be a removal spell. They have Vendetta. Okay. I mean, we're comfortable winning this race, so my opponent's gonna need some more beef on the other side. Swing? Yeah, I'm blocking. They don't have therapy, so... Oh, they have another Funeral Charm? Is that it? Oh, for Enchantress. I guess they have this card, so they don't wanna do this right now. Swing for 2. Opponent goes to 3. Should probably cycle on my end step, beating my Cabal Therapy, which they do. Another wall. Doesn't really change much. So I guess I don't have to worry about Pernicious Steed out of the Tempting Worm deck, right? I'm gonna take 5 here again. Playing around Diabolic Edict. That's a draw. That is a draw, friends. We get a Hypnotic Spectre trigger. We take another Naturalize. And this is the winner. Duress takes my Duress. And we go into game 2. Okay, so Smother sounds good against the Worm. Skeletal Shrine number 2, please and thank you. Don't think I care about Cabal Therapies. I think that's it. We've got Duresses. Bring in a Wretch, and I guess I can bring in Phyrexian Furnace. All my other cards are decent. I don't love the Verdicts and the Therapy, but I think this is fine. Actually, let's do this. So the 1 Therapy and 2 Verdicts, and then like the Rats are just fine, right? The Rats are just no big deal. They're actually somewhat decent. Sure, this hand sucks against Cabal Therapy, but it is what it is. Alright, let's see what my opponent names on turn 1 without any information. Cabal Therapy is what was named. Now they have to choose. They want to take my Skeletal Shrine or my Exalted Angels. Play my land and pass the turn. At least they know not to play the Tempting Worm, right? That would be a bold Tempting Worm. My opponent wants to play it on turn 2. Very brave Tempting Worm. Rats. Yeah, I'm definitely discarding this Exalted Angel. Not giving my opponent 2 for 1. There's no way they flashback and name Source to Plowshare, so... They do know about the Plow, so... Yeah, they immediately flashback. Which I think it's correct. Obviously it's better for us because now, you know, we don't have to worry about this double Source to Plowshare's action, but... Muse is not bad. Am I drawing 1 is the question. Just to make sure I hit my land drops? Maybe. Duress. Yeah, I guess I really want to hit land drops here. So I'm gonna take 2 to draw a card, which I don't love, but now they're gonna take 1 of the Source of Plowshares. At least we traded 1 for 1 with everything. Treetop Village. Swamp. No swamp. Send the turn back. Wall of Blossoms. That's okay. Man, Wall of Blossoms is just so good. Man, am I really discarding this Graveborn Muse here? I guess I am, because my opponent knows about it, and if they draw Therapy, that's exactly what they're naming. So let's do this. And again, I'm looking for a land drop, so I'm just gonna rack this immediately. I really want to find a land here. That is a land, I guess. Not the best land, but it is a land. Yep, there's the Therapy. Will of Blossoms is messed up, man. Graveborn Muse. Opponent swings for 1. They're probably gonna flashback and name Source of Plowshares, but I want to force them to name it rather than give them another card for free. Also, they have to do it right now, because otherwise, if I find the Black Source, then I just drop a Wretch and immediately exile the Therapy. They miss out on a lot of value. My draws just have not been cooperating at all. Opponent name's Bane. Yep, makes sense. Yeah. We do have like 14 lands here. At least their clock is pretty anemic, because they can't attack with the Treetop. And they can't actually cast the Worm. Like, if they cast the Worm, they kind of lose. Sure. I guess I'll morph that. They don't know whether this is an Angel or another Bane. Doesn't matter, they should probably kill this regardless. Especially if their removal spell is a Smother, right? Zombie Cutthroat would have been a very interesting one there. Oh, okay. It's a Call of the Herd. Black Source, 1 time. Going into turn 7. Nope. Still nothing. Still nothing. I guess I need to plow here. I don't think I can afford to take 3 damage. I'm gonna flashback Call of the Herd. Man, I think we would still be in this game if I had found the Black Source right there. Pretty unfortunate. Now with 2 Treetops, it's just gonna... Yeah, okay. I've seen enough now. With 2 Treetops there, I don't think... Even if we find the Black Source now, I feel like we're just too far behind. Okay. Another game. Duresses or Therapies. I still think I want my current setup. I just want to find lands. Alright. Are we doing this again? Just 1 Black Source. We're due, right? We're due. We missed land drops forever. The previous game. Deck's gotta make it up to us right now. So let's find the basic swamp off the top. Opponent moves to 6. Treetop Village. Basic Swamp. 1 time. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We can have 1 more turn before the Basic Swamp. Can give my opponent a chance here. I wonder if my opponent just sided out the Tempting Worms. Still no lands. We got 27 of them. 25 of them, sorry. Oh, my opponent also doesn't have lands. Oh, this is funny. Alright, and we did draw lands, so this is probably game. Vindicate your Treetop Village. So now they can't even draw their walls and go to discard. Yeah, that should probably be game. I think I'm just gonna drop the Muse. I don't think my opponent's gonna have many answers to Graveborn Muse because it doesn't die to smother. So okay, level I mean that's it. That's the answer to Muse. So there we go. Okay, now interesting. So I think I want to name Smother here, and I'm gonna go Smother into Angel. And now we're cooking. Opponent doesn't know about this one. There's the Tempting Worm, opponent's YOLOing, makes sense. Yeah, I'm just gonna play the Vein as well. This is, you know, Tempting Worm can be strong, but it can also backfire. Alright, see you for the next round. Here we go for the second round. This hand we probably can't keep. This one I'm going to. Maybe I can't, but I'm going to anyway. I think I'm going to bottom the Girard's Verdict. My opponent also notably moved to 6. I do wonder, I mean, in the blind, I guess I'm supposed to bottom the Verdict. Though I guess if I draw enough lands to get to Muse. The problem is my opponent may empty their hand. Like if I fail to find a land, my opponent may empty their hand before I can cast the Verdict, which would be pretty bad. I think this decision is very, very close. Let's bottom the Verdict. I may regret that. Actually, maybe not. Alright, things are looking good. Let's do rest first. See what my opponent's cooking with over there. Oh, it's this deck. Sure, let's take the Sphere. Being on the draw against the land destruction deck, it's not super great to be honest. But that's a fine draw. So I'm gonna name Winter's Grasp. Alright, there goes that one. Get your player rats next turn. Maybe my opponent will spend the turn porting. It's like they do. We really want to dodge Oath, but I don't think there's much we can do about it. We do get to draw 2 next turn at least, which is nice. Discard Forest. Interesting. Another port. We're gonna double port on upkeep. Well, here I'm just gonna draw 2, right? Seems like a fine spot to do this. That's not great for me. Also not particularly great draws. Would have loved to have found any land at all there. I imagine here comes the Wasteland. Please don't have Oath. Library. I mean, just almost as bad. Still no colored source, notably. No known information. Right, here's another rat. And here's hoping that they don't find an Oath. Sylvan Library is just super brutal here. I almost would have rather my opponent found more land destruction spells there. They paid life. It's bad news. This is the red version. Thermocars. It's all pretty bad. Another swamp. We're gonna play that one. I wonder what they fetch for here. I even wonder if they fetch. They do get a red source. So like that deck is super green mana hungry. So that's why I was wondering. So this is the matchup that when I was trying the rock version, I was a lot more excited about. Now with white, I'm not super stoked about this. Is this the Oath? Yep, pretty rough. Not sure what we can do here. Yeah, would have loved if I could cast that one, but we don't even if we find Source of Pleasures, we still don't have white mana. I mean, you can see the extents I've gone to like make my mana the best I can, and you still see how bad it is. So far, we have had mana issues basically in every game, except the first one, I guess. So you can really tell just how rough it can be. I do like Smother quite a bit here. I do like Skeletal Scrying. Bane of the Living can go. I think Muses are good. Verdicts are... I guess I kind of need Duresses, which is the rough part about this. Maybe the Exalted Angels are just too expensive. I think I want the Auras. White is a stretch, though. I'll tell you that much. Should I just cut the Rats? Because they enable Oath? I mean, I'm gonna need to enable Oath anyway. Yeah, let's go with this. I mean, we have enough removal that we can maybe play through Oath. I guess I'm keeping this. Would have enjoyed the Duress. Swamp go. Do I play Wretch here is the question. I think so. Just a bigger threat. And if my opponent does have Oath, I can start to use Wretch to give me value. I guess I should have actually played the Reflecting Pool if I'm playing around Oath, because then I can play the ETB tap land and I can still get white mana, so I can disenchant. Pyroclasm, sure. So let's Wasteland, and I guess I'm gonna play another Wretch. Treetop is a nice one to get rid of there. I feel like it's the only land that I would have Wastelanded. Oh, please give me a white source. Discarding Wasteland. Interesting. Earthquake. It's pretty rough. Okay, that's a swamp. Playing around Wasteland. We please dodge LD here. Ugh. Duress is nice. So now I can Duress into Rats, get my opponent's last 2 cards, and then they can top deck Oath of Druids and I lose. Interesting that they kept the naturalizes in. Comes Treetop, take 3 land. Alright, so maybe we can play this game now. The Muse also makes it so the factory cannot serve, which is nice. We're gonna take some hits here. Looking for some removal spells. White Source, that's nice. Play White Source, and do I swing? Could I naturalize the Mox, which prevents my opponent from activating both? So this is bad if my opponent finds... I think I need to slow the clock. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna swing with Rat, but not with the Muse, because the Muse staying here prevents the factory from attacking. So there goes the Rat. We're not in good shape. Let me clarify that. Oh, that's a good draw for me. I don't think my opponent should have played this, actually. I feel like this was better in my opponent's hand. I'm gonna take 3 again. It's Muse. Swamp is not great. Another land is also not great. So I guess now I'm just gonna chill. I may have to offer the trade. Wow, we really drew like garbage. They can only activate 1 treetop. Goes back to the early fetch that I mentioned. I think I'm soaking up 1 point of damage, and I want 1 more draw with this Graveborn Muse. Muse, Cabal Therapy is a blank, Vindicate. Let's play another Cave. I guess I Vindicate the Treetop Village. And now we're gonna have a Forced Chomp on the Treetop. But yeah, now it's kind of awkward, because if they have Oath, they cannot play the Oath. Now we have a Forced Trade on the Treetop, and we take 2, and we have to top deck. We have good top decks though, like if I find Exalted Angel, we may be in business. I guess they're playing around removal. Respected. Have the Reflecting Pool. No business. Okay, let's see what we draw in this last turn. We have plenty of draws. Swords to Plowshares, Wasteland, another land. Let's Cabal Therapy, naming Abandon Hope, and we're going to take some damage. See you for the next round. On to round number 3. Okay, I'm gonna hope that this is a matchup where the rest is reasonable. Looks like it is. Good for us. Mishra's Factory. That's a card. I guess I take the Lightning Bolt here. Mountain into Grim. Now we kill the Grim. Duress. Take Vortex. And I guess I just Wasteland. Only reason to Wasteland here is because my opponent hasn't shown me another land, so it's possible they actually miss a land drop here, which would be pretty good. Yeah, good. It's interesting. Gonna start with Spectre, Seal of Fire. Then I'm gonna Bane. Actually, yeah, if I'm gonna be, they're gonna kill my 2/2. I'd rather not take a point of damage in the process, right? Yeah, okay, good. So now we go play this. Now my opponent can Incinerate, and now we play the Angel. And now we hope that they don't have it. We have to dodge many things here. Vortex. Dang. Dang it. Okay. So I guess we're gonna spend the turn to flip. Then we're going to untap. And we're going to... Because I need to use this turn to flip so that my opponent can't attack. Now they Vortex. Now I Vindicate. Plow the Grim Lavamancer. I have to do it now. Now the Angel gets busy. Now they swing for 3, but I gain 4, so this is okay. Draw land. Gonna play this as a blocker. Off you go, Angel. Okay, number 2. So Suran Orb is nice. Skeletal Scrying out. Muses out. This looks good. These, I guess they're pretty heavy on creatures, aren't they? They also very likely don't have Ball Lightning, so I don't want Engineered Plague. Verdicts are good. Do I want Wretch? I guess Wretch may be better than Furnace. Clouds look good. Auras and Disenchant are interesting. Guess let's cut a Bane. Rats are great. Don't super love the discard, but maybe it's necessary. I do think Verdict is fine, but on the draw I think the Duresses and Therapies lose a lot of steam. And I kind of want the auras. Maybe I'm crazy for this, but let's go with something like that. I feel like it's very redundant, right? With the Duresses, especially on the draw. Maybe the Spectres are bad, actually. Oh man, it's close. Banes seem okay. I'm not super excited about them. Guess let's do this. Huh. So this is fine mana, no sideboard cards, and we have like, yeah, I'm gonna mulligan. I think we can do better than that. I think this is better. We are gonna bottom the Vindicate. Furnace is gonna do some good work to minimize the effect of Grim Levimancer. That's a nice pickup, very nice pickup. So now we're looking for a white source, really. Basically, we wanna, nice. We wanna sandbag this Ruin Orb until the turn where we plan to utilize it. So here's Ravenous Rats. I'm gonna exile right now, and then we're gonna pass. So now my opponent can use a real card to get rid of this Ravenous Rats, but I'm kind of excited if they do that. I'll trade. Yes, I will definitely trade for this Jackal Pup. Certainly so. Okay, my opponent is just cashing in the Grim Levimancer activation because they know that they're not really gonna get any more value from it. Makes sense? That's pretty nice, but I think I'm gonna be taking this turn to Rats and then exile whatever they discard. Notably, this G2 Encampment is colorless, so that's definitely something to keep in mind. Now we untap, play a white source, and here's a cop red. I'm gonna play it now to play around like something like Praso Progress or whatever. I need to find an answer to these creatures. Vortex? Really? Okay, so I'm gonna cycle Vindicate. So I'm gonna prevent damage from Duress. I think I want to Vindicate the Mishra's Factory because it's the one that takes the least mana to activate. I don't think I can realistically Vindicate the Vortex there. I just need to find an answer. I'm gonna take 2, prevent damage from Vortex, play my land. I guess I'm gonna do Res here. Hold my rat? That sucks. Okay, we're in trouble. Can't activate both, so at least we have that going on. So we prevent damage from Lavamancer. We need an answer. These lands are kind of brutal here. Bane, just played as a 4/3. They don't have enough to activate Grim twice. Don't Revolt, Seal of Fire. Yeah, that's good enough. They can swing with G2 Encampment, but this is just much better. Factory gets in there for 2. Activate, prevent the Grim, damage from Vortex. It's a 1/1. 1/1's not gonna win the race. I mean, if I Vindicate the Vortex, I could be sacrificing lands, but I'm not really going anywhere. And this approach to Mishra's Factory is pretty cool here. So I'm going to 1. So I could block, trade with Lavamancer, that frees up a mana, but it's also something that my opponent can use the Lavamancer to deal damage to my thing. I think I need to use this to prevent, and then I need to find an answer to the Mishra's Factory, which is rough, because then it makes it so I cannot really draw 2 2s. Okay, so I guess they don't give me the option. But we go to 1, activate Vortex. That's not a Plowshares. Okay, game 3. Now we're on the play. I think I'd rather have Bane than Hypnotic Spectre, actually. And I'm still fine with only a couple of Duresses. Honestly, Spectre may be better than the Duresses, to be honest. Engineer Plague, I guess, answers G2 Encampment, but not Mishra's Factory. It is kind of awkward. Yeah, let's go with that. On the play, only 2 lands. We have a Cyber card. I think I'm gonna mulligan. This actually seems better, I think. I think I like this better. What am I bottoming though? Could bottom the Plains. It's risky. Alternatives to bottom the Aura. Okay, let's bottom the Aura. So Plains, Furnace, go. Oh, I messed it up. I should have gone Caves of Koilos first, because now I'm going to be taking a point from the caves. That was bad. I mean, I guess I still need to play my cards in curve, I think. On curve. Wow, their hand sucks, huh? Okay, maybe we have a shot here. Super heavy on lands. So let's exile. And I'm just going to plow here. I'm not going to take damage that I don't need to take. And we're just going to send the turn back. I'm going to place G2 Encampment. Can Vindicate next turn. Vindicate Encampment. Send the turn. Vortex. Oh man. Do I need to cycle here? Yeah, I guess I need to. Wretch. Okay, cop red? No cop red. We're playing this out. There's a reason to play Wasteland there? I don't think so. Mog fantastic. Incinerate my dude. All of these make sense. Untap. Send the turn. They're holding lands. Can we draw a Jar's Verdict? That would be nice. Although I guess we don't gain life, never mind. Play land. No business. Send the turn. Probably gonna have to source the plowshares. This Mog fantastic. Feels bad, man. Untap something that can kill my opponent. Duress. I don't think there's any reason to play that out. Oh man, give me an angel. Give me something that I can... Give me an answer to this vortex. Oof. Crazy. Too slow. And there's that. We're dead. Alright. That was rough. See you for the next one. Alright, here we go for run number 4. This hand's just not gonna cut it. This one's okay. In the blind, I think I want to bottom the Bane or the Muse. I think the Bane. This is a nice little turn 1 Salt March, Surge Flats into Reflecting Pool. Turn 2 perfect mana. You love to see it. We have been seeing the issue with this deck that we don't really see that much with the rock version, which is the possibility of just like the raw power level, right? Here we're basically our payoff is a 1-for-1, whereas in the other deck we get Pernicious Deed and Well of Blossoms, both cards that are absolutely fantastic. Hermit, Source to Plowshares. Dang. Enlightened Tutor. Tutoring for survival. Played out. We immediately vindicate it. I mean, we could vindicate the green source. Now that's just too greedy. Let's just not mess around. Let's take our 2-for-1. And there you see. Enlightened Tutor. Not great. Any land, please? Rats. I think... No, I think I'm actually gonna go for rats here. They could have like Squee in hand, which would be bad for me, but yeah, we get a wall. Pretty good exchange. Morph into Therapy. So I'm gonna play a Morph as well. So if this is an Exalted Angel, if they flip, then we can flip, and then we're basically trading even, right? Okay. If I'm not gonna find the land for this Exalted Angel, at least I get their last card in hand. Genesis. It's a pretty good one. So they're gonna get something back here, which is pretty good for them, unless they want to flip. Okay, so they want to flip the angel, which means this is now a turn where we can retch plus take the Genesis, which is pretty huge because they got no value from it. Now we know we're flipping next turn our angel, which is going to offset their angel. So the only question is, do we want to Therapy, or would we rather like save a retch activation? I guess we have rats that we can sack, so there's a reason for doing this. So what, I mean, they could have had anything, because like nothing they could have had in hand that they could have top decked was better than flipping the angel. We know they don't have a land, that's the only thing we know. But I think I'm gonna name Source to Plowshares, because that's worst case scenario for me. Octavio rank thing, yeah, that card doesn't matter. Alright, so we're looking pretty decent here. Okay, so let's flip. I guess we just don't attack, right? We just sit back, draw land, and now we play Muse, play our land, send it back. Guess I forgot to exile their Deranged Hermit last turn. I don't think it really matters. Ooh, they drew the plow. Alright, so now we actually have a little bit of a race going on here. I need to find an answer to this angel before my opponent and my Muse kill me. Anything will do, like Vindicate, Source of Plowshares. Bane is actually interesting. I can suicide my entire board. I swing with everything. They trade Wretch. I play a Bane. I kind of want to hold on to the land. I think I'm just gonna play Morph. I want to hold on to land because I may need to discard my own thing here. So I guess I'm gonna swing the rats and the Muse. Now I can flip Bane for 1. Holding onto the land because I may need to verdict myself to gain life if I don't find an answer to this Exalted Angel. It goes up to 30. That's, I guess, Hypnotic Spectre, which it is a Chomp blocker. So I go up to 6 if I target myself with Verdict. Take 1, gain 7, Chomp. Let's take the Chomp. It's more lives for my Muse, I think. Draw again with Muse. Rest. Man! Why am I always so short in the end? Why am I always so short? Always falling short. I had Vindicates to draw towards, I had more Angels, I had 4 Source to Plowshares, but I found none of it. Oh, I'm an idiot. I can like Cabal Therapy. I have one more turn, I guess. A name and Light and Tutor. Because my opponent forgot my mistake. Although I guess it makes sense because they're not really drawing anything. Like I don't know what they're tutoring for that actually makes sense here. Again, holding land for what's his name, but it doesn't actually matter for Jira's Verdict. Oh, we don't have any more verdicts, so no reason to hold the lands. Going to 1, so we're gonna eat some dudes. Technically, they could have Oromancer, so that's a reason to eat the enchantments. And let's see if we find an answer. 1 turn? No, still nothing. There was 1 turn. I mean, I made a decision, right? I thought that it made sense because I had like 5 draws. I could have used the Bane of the Living to like basically suicide my board in order to kill this Exalted Angel. I thought it made more sense. Like I have so many answers to this Exalted Angel that I thought it made sense to just put myself in a very, very commanding position and then go from there. But I guess didn't turn out the way that I wanted. Do I want auras? Do I want this enchant? But yeah, I guess we had 6 answers to Exalted Angel and then our own Exalted Angel, which would have, of course, brought everything to a halt. Yeah, I think I don't want to go with this card in this matchup. I feel like I'd rather answer what my opponent plays as they play it. Smother or Aura of Silence is the question. Also, Cleansing Meditation is interesting. I mean, they have a Light and Tutor in their deck, right? So it has to be Aura of Silence. I also saw Parallax Wave, so they could have Opal Wave. I'm gonna cut 1 Wasteland, and oh, my catalysts look pretty good here though. Could have a hippie. We're on the play. Am I keeping this? I mean, I guess I have to, right? My mana has been so bad. Turn 1 Furnace, still my opponent has over there. Nothing. Play the Wasteland, send the turn back. I think I'm playing the Bane first as bait. Wall of Roots, sure. Yeah, I guess I'm still doing this. Man, this Morph card is so bad. Guess I'm about to be punished. I think I'm saving this Source to Plowshares. So I'm gonna like try to sell the fact that I don't have the mana to flip the Angel, otherwise I would have flipped it. So if my opponent has Plow, maybe they will try to plow my first Angel. My first Morph, I mean. So this is 100% just straight up bluff. Mother of Runes. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to plow that one. I think I have to plow the Mother of Runes here. So obviously punished, but I'm gonna again. I guess now I don't need to sell that bluff anymore. I'm going to now play the land. I think they have Swords to Plowshares because they're attacking too much here. So I think that my bluff is being successful. I think they need to plow something. I don't know which one. Cradle and Survival. I mean, this Furnace is gonna keep the survival a little bit at bay. Go for Squee? Ah, that explains it. Wait, what? Well, now I'm very confused. So now they're exposing the Squee? Okay. Well, let's untap. Bane. Yeah, we'll probably have to Wasteland here. Now we exile the Monk, exile the Squee, and I'm just gonna play the Bane. Another Morph. Morph City. Again, I think they have Source of Plowshares in hand. But now they no longer have Squee. I think they messed up. I don't think they should have exposed the Squee. Though I guess they don't know that I don't have the answer to survival, but like I feel like it's pretty obvious here. We finally found the basic swamp on turn number 6. Yep, I flip the Angel, makes sense. I'm gonna attack with 3 Morphs and see how my opponent blocks. They don't. Does that mean I just play a rat? No, that's just like such a bad use of my mana. The problem is like this just exposes. It's such a bad use of my mana though. And I'd rather just take the life gain. Because next turn my opponent can just plow my Angel before I get the 8-point life swing. Another Whirl of Blossoms and Light and Tutor into Wave. So they drew the Parallax Wave. Another Bird. Can we find the Black Source and just double rats them? That would be so nice. Why are you doing this to me, deck? Karmic Guide. That's so spicy. Genesis. I guess they don't have the plow, huh? And with everybody, and they still can't really block. So they have the Wave and get back Karmic Guide, but they don't. So I guess they're casting Wave this turn. They're leaving a lot on the table to do that. They are giving up a lot by doing that. Okay, that's a card. Their last card in hand is Source of Plowshares. It's pretty rough. So at least we do get to draw 3 here. Maybe find another Black Source. We do. Not much to do with it, but We do find another black source. I guess next priority is what? Is to exile the Genesis. I guess end step we have to wave everything away. Man, this game has been super interesting. Opponent can't cast Karmic's Guide this turn, and we know the last card in hand. So we must spend one turn to play the Withered Wretch. So we exile the Genesis. Actually, is that true? Actually, another black source is quite nice here. So now we get to Rats, get the card in hand, then we swing. Alright, opponent's activating Survival. This is good for me, I think. They pitch the Auramancer to Monk Idealist. Idealist. Now they discard, swing with everybody. And now this Wretch is gonna get in there, and this is gonna be awesome. Also, we are setting up this pattern, right? Where we just do that. Now the Wretch comes down, immediately take the Genesis, and now some of my opponent's best outs are gone. So we're gonna exile Monk Idealist. I don't even know how you pronounce that. Army Guide, gone. Auramancer, gone. That was a nice Wretch. Restarting their walls. Okay, so they're just like cashing in. I don't understand why they exiled the Wretch there. That's alright. They drew a bird. Do they have another Auramancer? And they're out. Another angel. Then just play it out right now. So we're gonna have to wipe. We're gonna have to wipe the board and then hope that my Graveborn Muse goes the distance. Yep. Wrath of God. You've got no board, I got no board. Nobody's got any board. So now is 4 mana and survival versus Graveborn Muse and a lot of mana. Redundant survival. Man, my Wretches and Furnace have done so much. Yep, that's a card. That is a card. We can play both. Awesome. Casual 10 mana. 10 mana, drop my 2 best cards in this spot. Go. Guess I just don't do anything. And now we have the combo. This is what we call a combo. 6 mana, Exalted Angel. I guess no need to do it there actually. So many basics. Man, they have a lot of Exalted Angels. At least 3, potentially 4. This is looking okay. I guess the only real way that I can lose here is I play another Exalted Angel and then my opponent goes wave into Seal of Cleansing and they clear my board. Maybe I lose from there. So I'm gonna hold on to the other angel so it can finish the job if things go horribly wrong. And I guess might as well get some info. My opponent's last card is another survival. Vindicate the wall, swing for lethal. And on to game 3 we go, folks. That was fun. This deck does give you some fun games. I'll give it that. I don't think it's super strong or anything, but I'm gonna now be on the draw. I think this is fine. Maybe the Wasteland is tempting, but I don't even know what I would be cutting, so maybe the smaller. I feel like I only care about the big creatures though. Huh. I guess I'm gonna keep this one. Okay. An okay draw. No survival. Alright. I think I'll take that one. Obviously my opponent could like discard a Squee or something, but this way I'm actually getting value from this Wretch on turn 3. Hermit STP. Yeah, that's an amazing Jara's Verdict. Taking a Source of Plowshares there is huge. Karmic Guide. Huh. Well, Bane of the Living. Let's hope we survive here. We want to dodge Source of Plowshares, obviously. Opponent over there playing Echo Tribal. We didn't even notice. Oh, they can pay both Echoes? It's pretty sexy. So we're going to be taking a chunk of damage. And I'm just going to main phase flip the Bane. Oh, don't have the Plow. Come on, don't have it. Come on, don't have it. No blocks. Take 10. No big deal, no big deal. 2, flip, -2, -2 to everybody. And I want to do this now, obviously, because it really limits my opponent's mana, especially killing the Bird of Paradise there. It's a pretty big deal. It's a wall. Monk Idealist. It's good for me. Let's see what opponent's got. Parallax Wave. I think we're in okay shape. Not gonna attack, they have a free block. The wall, so we have to dodge Exalted Angel off the top. Okay, that's fine. That's a good one. So I think that gives me a turn off so that I can go for Muse and I can get that engine going. Gonna swing for 2. Now next turn we draw Wretch. Okay, awesome. So I think now we're in the clear, because now we're gonna drop the Wretch, and then all of my opponent's ways of crawling back into the game, they all require the graveyard. And Wretch just covers that. Oh, I don't think it's worth using a Source of Plowshares on a wall, so it's gonna continue swinging for 2. Compost. Yeah, that's not a good card. I have yet to see this card do anything at all. I've seen it in play multiple times so far, but actually, like the good cards in Premodern, they're the good black cards. That is, they're permanents, like the ones that we're seeing right now. So kind of awkward in that sense. So I've seen multiple composts just like hang out in play without drawing anything, and that's how we end the game. And I don't think my opponent has any outs anymore. I guess they can source to Plowshares the Angel, but survival doesn't do anything as long as I have this wretch here. This is already a 2-turn clock. And I'm trying to think if there's anything that could go wrong for me here. Shout out to Bane of the Living, by the way. Only reason why I won this game. This card just continues to impress. It is really good. It is very, very good. And all of these shells, like regardless of what's the accompanying color, just Bane is absolutely spectacular. So the best they can do is Exalted Angel, but they still lose with the gain life trigger on the stack. So, alright, that was cool. That was a very fun interactive game of Magic the Gathering. So, hope you enjoyed it. See you for the last one. Time for the last match, folks. I guess we're on the play again. I feel like we've been on the play most games. This obviously is not a keep. But we've been most games on the play. Man, this is iffy. I mean, Therapy plus Rats is so strong, so I think I'm gonna keep this and I'm just gonna bottom the land, and then I'm gonna be very sad if my opponent has anything that beats this. I can't wait to like not find lands. Okay, this is good. This is good. So Source of Plowshares is in the bank. We're gonna go for a rat. We don't know what my opponent's up to over there, but I don't think it's basically ever worth it to Cabal Therapy in the blind. Oh, interesting. It's a big problem. It's a real big problem. Feeling very sad now that I don't have my land anymore. What can I do here? Is it just Angel and Race? I think so. Like, I don't think there's anything that I can name with Cabal Therapy that matters. Like, the only thing that matters is already in play. So, second Argothian Enchantress. This is so awkward. We need one more mana, but I think my best chance at... No, I don't think I have any chance at winning, actually. I guess I'm gonna swing, and then I'm gonna hope this Cabal Therapy is like insane. Yeah, so there's a Source of Pleasure. So flipping like just didn't make any sense here. And now we have to name an enchantment they wouldn't have played by now. So Parallax Wave, or Enchantress's Presence, or Sterling Grove. Those are the three. I think I'm gonna go for Parallax Wave. Those are the three that I mentioned. Okay, so I'm gonna name Enchantress's Presence, but I cannot beat what's already on board, so I don't think we can win this game. Actually, I'm just gonna concede. This game is gonna go for a while, but I can't really win. So let's bring in the Wretch, cut this Source of Plowshares, disenchant all of these, Skeletal Scrying. We can probably cut the Exalted Angel. We're not gonna need it. Hypnotic Specters, alright. The Vindicates are not great. Rats, Verdict. I think this may be too many Plagues. We also have the Banes of the Living, so it sounds a little bit too redundant with answers to Enchantress. I mean, Vindicate is just so medium. It's insanely medium. But I guess that's that. I guess I'd rather have Plague number 3 than Vindicate number 2. That may be wrong, but I don't know. So Enchantress. Alright. This is a fine draw. So let's do rest to make sure that we're not whiffing. Stake the Wild Growth. Then we're going to Therapy Enchantresses. I guess we can just do everything, huh? I mean, what the hell is this card? Destroy enchantments that you don't control, then you find weird card. Now we're just gonna Therapy Argothian Enchantress. I mean, this is a strong start. This is a very strong start. Not gonna lie. That's a fun top deck. I guess I play this out anyway, naming Human, just for mana curve purposes. Sanctum doesn't tap for mana. Here's Muse. I mean, Verse is an interesting one. Amazing art, by the way. Okay, Muse, take me home. A million times yes. Obviously, I'm not gonna play it into the coming Verse, but it's still a good one to have access to. Alright, that's annoying. They did top deck the Source of Plowshares. That's frustrating. As long as they don't go land replenish. Another Plague, which I cannot cast. Man, really would love to draw anything here. It's a nice draw. So they finally played out the coming Verse. I'm gonna send the turn, and this may mean that they drew an Enchantress, or this may mean that they drew another coming verse, obviously. But so now we can exile, I guess, the Wild Growth and the Presence. All right, so they only drew one card, so this is still manageable. Second main, here's Plague, the name Human, and I guess I'm gonna pass. Still don't know. I'd rather just hold on to the Aura of Silence and use it as a disenchant. Yep, there's the Presence. The way they tapped suggests that they don't have a follow-up. I do think it's possible they have Swords to Plowshares, however. We're gonna have to be on the lookout for that because they held up white. At least they are representing Swords to Plowshares. 2, Aura of Silence. My opponent should probably plow now. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Like, I'm gonna pop this immediately. And they want for me not to exile the Presence so that they can top deck Replenish. At this point, it's quite obvious. Plowshares? Maybe they don't. I mean, full information because I got nothing, so another Presence. Yep, that's the third one. Man, this is so devastating because I don't have enough. Okay, I think I have to flashback therapy naming Parallax Tide. So this is so brutal because I think it's possible they have Parallax Tide. But if they do, I don't have enough on board with this Withered Wretch, so I need to have this Graveborn Muse survive. But if they do have Parallax Wave, sorry, then they can just wave plus cleansing and draw a card from the wave and then clear my board. So I'm gonna feel like an idiot or a genius, and there's no middle ground. I'm gonna feel like an idiot or a genius, and we're about to find out. Flashback, main Parallax Wave. Yes. Oh, yes. Yes. That's how we drew it up. This is why you come to this channel, for that play. Oh, come on. Ah, oh, come on, man. The sick line and everything, and then my friend just, all right, I regret it. I don't mean it. Yes, this is fine. I can draw 6 here. All right, we play on. We play on. Confinement. Oh, we can just take both. Let's just take them both. Let's take both cards. Because I was thinking about, like, I definitely want to get rid of the confinement because that's the one that actually draws my opponent a card. But if I rats, then they're just going to discard the other one. So, okay, rats. See what my opponent's cooking with. Just plow. Okay. I guess I might as well play the Bane here. Probably sitting on the redundant rats, but because I can always like go ahead and like flip this Bane into a 4/3. But if my opponent has an Enchantress, then they can blow up the Plague and then play the Enchantress, and then I can use the Bane to clear the Enchantress. But if they don't do anything, I'm gonna flip this Bane here on end step, so I have all my mana. I'm gonna have access to all my mana when I untap. So let's rats first. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like they probably have a plow. It's kind of the only card that makes sense to be in their hand. They had another replenish and they didn't cast it. Very interesting. All right, so I'm gonna make them take 4. And then that's 2 replenishes. I think I blow up the Presence. Obviously, if they have 3 replenishes and they top like the third one, we lose. But this makes me much more. It protects me much better from like every other top deck from my opponent. Sterling Grove. Yeah, that's actually they're dead on board, so they have to sacrifice the wave to stay alive. I guess they can go get another wave and then they untap. But that leaves them without a board, I guess. It also costs them their draw step, but I can't protect from that. That's just the way it is. So both, they're going to get a wave on end step, they're going to top deck that, and then they're going to like Seed of Cleansing wave combo to clear my board, which is very annoying. But we have a lot of draws. We have many draws here. I don't know if they have a third replenish. If they do, that's going to be very bad for me. But they have 1 more Enchantress, they have 1 more Presence as well, and then I have some threats that can help me finish this game. And then I have a draw a million. Okay, that's bad for me. That's alright. So now replenish, no longer an out. And this actually kills, so that's also cool. So they don't have that much time to get their engine going. Presence, okay? That's the last Presence. Everything else has been dealt with. When it has like 20 cards in exile. All right, so this name Abandon Hope, of course. Gonna draw 4, crying for 4. Very nice. Same for 2. Man, meditation without threshold. Brutal. Man, that wave turn. I'm gonna be thinking about that flashback cabal therapy for a while. That was very nice. That being said, I guess that's it, right? This is what I have. I could cut a Wasteland. Wasteland seems so medium against this deck. My opponent is relying kind of heavily on the replenishes, so maybe Furnace is fine. I don't think I like Furnace better than all my other cards though, so I think I'm gonna submit. Shout out to Skeletal's Crying. Off the top, draw 6. No big deal. I guess so. We definitely want a Black Source here, but his hand is quite nice. I'm gonna move to 5. Turn 1 Guile is very good for them though. Okay, so we're going to name our Gothian Enchantress, obviously. And we hit. Very nice, very nice. I'm excited. Then we get to Verdict on turn 2 because we drew a white source like the champions that we are. I like where this is going. Oh baby, they did not play the enchantment. So we're gonna take this turn off real quick. Get rid of those ugly cards in my opponent's hand. And if they play nothing, I think I just drop the Bane. They have a land though, so that's, I mean, I'm probably still dropping the Bane anyway. Would have loved a white source. That's probably my best draw there, but they didn't shuffle, notably. I'd certainly be excited to find a land off the top, particularly a white source. They draw, then they fetch. So I guess this is an Enchantress presence. Indeed. So let's serve, and I guess I'm gonna play a Wretch. Pass the turn. This is a scary situation though. I'm not feeling comfortable here. This does not feel good. Sterling Grove, sure, it's a problem. Crevasse Ruins. I guess it's possible my opponent is actually not playing Exploration. Another Wretch. So I know they have a land in hand, and I kind of want to get rid of that land, so this is a swing for 4. Would have loved to find land there. I would have played another Wretch or flipped the Bane. But this, as is, without deploying anything else, is a 2-turn clock, so my opponent doesn't really have that much time. They did not crack the Sterling Grove too. Wild Growth, it's very good for them, but nothing else. Black Source is not ideal. I'm gonna go to combat here. By going to combat, now I get to play Ravenous Rats. Take whatever card they have. Another guy. They didn't cast the Guile. Okay. So this is lethal, because we can just flip the Bane. But I guess this plays into Swords to Plowshares. But the problem is the opposite is also true, where I will be playing into Parallax Wave if I expose the Withered Wretch. And I think they have the wave. Yep, there it is. So I'm gonna force my opponent to do something by flipping here. So this already forces my opponent to use some counters from the Parallax Wave. They're just attempting to set up Opal Wave here. So what I want to do is I want to find a white source like a champion that I am. And unfortunate. Quite unlucky, unfortunately for me. Because if now they can find Opal Wave and they can set it up. I needed to find a white source at any point, really. And if I do that, then I can force my opponent to not be able to cast the Opalescence. But now I'm just screwed, I think. So I want to duress. So I guess I let this resolve. Now let's duress. See what my opponent's got. Seed of Cleansing, that's gone. And I guess I have to play the Wretch. If they have land, Opalescence, I'm in trouble. But I have one more turn to draw a white source. Unless they have exactly Opalescence now. Oh, I actually don't have lethal anymore. My opponent can go to 1. Solitary Confinement. Okay. To land. So that's basically just a Time Walk, I guess. So maybe they don't have it. Alright, deck. If you like me, give me an untapped white source off the top. That's not untapped white source deck. So I think Wave is not on top of the deck. Oh, but they have set it up though. Yeah, they have actually set it up with the Sterling Grove. So playing the Graveborn Muse actually doesn't do anything. So I just have to pass the turn. And I have the answer to Opal Wave in hand, but so they crack Sterling Grove, go get Opalescence. Man, we were so close this game. I'm so frustrated. I'm so freaking frustrated, man. So now confinement goes away, and they have the very last counter in the Parallax Wave. Again, this deck's mana is bad, right? It's less bad than regular white-black decks, but it's still quite bad. So like it's not crazy that I didn't get there. It's just very, very frustrating. Yeah, I didn't leave in Source of Plowshare's opponent. You got me. So now they exile all my creatures one by one. They actually missed out on 4 points of damage. I don't know if that's going to matter, but now we have no board state. I think now we're just too far behind. Right, it's crazy. Turn 1, Cabal Therapy, take your Enchantress. Turn 2, Verdict, leave you with no cards in hand. And the turn 1 Guile just did all the work. My opponent, they drew pretty well, and I took too long, basically. Actually, this is the best time to do this, because I want to... I mean, it takes one more, otherwise my opponent gets to reset their Parallax Wave. They get one more counter, so... I guess we still have draws here, but they're really getting slim here. Oh, never mind. We don't have draws. Even Cleansing Meditation doesn't really do it here, because they can protect basically Guile, Presence. All the other 3 die, but they can still protect Guile and Presence and go from there. Alright, just wasn't in the cards. But that was a very, very cool match. That was super interesting. And there you go, folks. Black-white, maybe playable Deadguy 2.0? Nah. So the issue that I have with this deck is that it's just worse than the black-green version. Not only are the payoffs not as good, like, I mean, Source Parallax is a hell of a payoff, in Exalted Angel too, but like Verdict and Vindicate are just kind of mediocre. Like, I don't think I would consider these really to be payoffs. While with black-green we get access to Treetop Village, which is a huge deal, because, you know, you saw in these matches like how short we kind of were on threats. So having access to Treetop Village is kind of a game changer. And not only that, but also obviously Pernicious Deed. Like, Pernicious Deed would have probably single-handedly won at least 2 of the matches that we played today. So I don't think this is where you want to be. This just feels exactly what you don't want to be doing, which is a worse version of something else, because I don't think that this really offers any other upside that the black-green version wouldn't provide. So at that point, you're just playing white because you really like Exalted Angel, and at that point, I think I would say, okay, then let's just try to make 3 colors work and just play junk. Which, spoiler, it's something that I am going to be playing, because I actually think that Exalted Angel is a pretty good card to try to make work alongside Graveborn Muse. I just think that the green cards are so much better, because Will of Blossoms is absolutely insane. It allows you to play with 4 Cabal Therapies, which this deck cannot really do, because you only have 4 creatures that you want to sack to Therapy, even though Therapy is fantastic on the front side. You really, if you want to be playing 4 copies, you really need to be taking advantage of the other side as well. And just with 4 Ravenous Rats, that's just not enough fodder. So having access to Will of Blossoms alongside Ravenous Rats is pretty much like a game changer in that sense. I have actually tried to play like different versions of this deck with Phyrexian Rager. It's not nice. I don't recommend it. But cards that I did like: Bane of the Living, Graveborn Muse, and Exalted Angel. Like, these 3 right here, like the top end is so good. The problem is here, the mana is just heinous. We basically had mana problems every single match, if I'm not mistaken, and we lost multiple games, notably the last one and the very first one that we played as well. All of those we lost almost entirely because of mana issues. So because of that, I think that this may not be where you want to be. So if we're going the 3 routes, I have been excited about trying a shell of 4 Grand Coliseum and 3 to 4 Reflecting Pools, and that has been very actually solid. So I think that I may want to try something like that in the future. But as far as straight up black-white goes, I don't think that this is it. I don't think that this is it, basically because this is strictly worse black-green, right? So you don't really want to be playing strictly worse version of something else. So that being said, this was still the nice thing about all of these decks is that the matches are so good, they're so grindy, they're so like scratching for every ounce of value that you possibly can. So it's very entertaining. So I will definitely be playing more of this style of deck. But that's gonna be it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, folks. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button on the way out, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, and long live Premodern.